Welcome to Seekers of the Malediction, your source for tips, tricks, and strategies in our favorite miniatures card game. I'm Zach. This is Pat. And what is our topic for today, Pat?
It is come once again, uh, more than once a year now, right? This is the second one. It's been 6 months, so it's not no longer Christmas. But yeah, I think that we're due for one more this year, Zach, if we're lucky. But yeah, we're
That
doing
would be something.
our infamous card review analysis with our grading. We'll be going through all the new cards of the new reinforcements packs coming out at the end of August. Um, yeah, we'll be going through giving them a letter grade A through F. So just a reminder, A is for like bombs. They're amazing. You put them in every single deck. B are very efficient cards. They're going to go in most of your builds. They're also going to trade one for one. C is still standard filler, and I think a lot of people. I just want to call out the C's. To me, I was a B and a C student, so C's are good, right? Like I think most people see our C grades and they're like, "What are these guys doing? Like that card's amazing." Whatever. If you think that cool, but C's are just like okay, like they're like baseline. D's are really niche cards. Maybe there's certain builds that you would want to put them on, and then F's are just our unplayable cards. At least in the current state of the game, we don't think that they're playable, and you probably shouldn't put them in any
Have
deck.
we have we ever legitimately given an amazing card a C grade? I don't think so.
No,
Throw
but
it in the throw it in the comments if you
but
disagree with me,
but
dear listener.
you
But I promise you, there's no way.
you're definitely putting C's in your deck still, though. Is my point. You can't just fill a deck
Yes.
all with A's and B's. Is my point.
We are not yet at a stage in Malediction's release cycle to be able to fill decks with, A's and B's as we would rate them
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
It will happen though
It, it
someday.
it will, but there's still builds for them, right? Just like the D's, there's still a potential to put
Yes.
them in. But yeah, without further ado, I think I say that all the time. I don't like it, sorry, but we're gonna hop right in. All right, so the first pack is the Primal pack. Its name is Bestial Advantage. I think you're gonna see a heavy beast theme in here, and our first card is exactly that. It is called Murder of Shriekers. It is a 3 cost basic unit. No accuracy, no damage, no range, 8 speed, 12 defense, 6 HP. It has Overrun 2, which is a brand new ability. This unit performs a move that can pass over units and husks. Deal 2 damage to each unit it passes over this way. Flying, well, we know what flying is, and then phasing. If you graze it, it takes no damage. Why don't you kick us off with this, Zach?
Yeah, this one's tough because I think there's like some really amazing things going on with this card. It's a 3 cost basic, already pretty, something to look at, right? 8 speed flying is awesome. I mean, incredible, honestly. And phasing is a banger of an ability. But 6 life is scary. And I don't like that it's only means of sort of contributing to damage, I guess, on the board. So like, removal is with overrun. So th- I don't know where my rating is on this one. It's probably somewhere in the B range because I feel like it often isn't going to do enough. But flying, phasing, and speed 8 is actually pretty legit for positioning and board control that does not center on sort of model removal. So I think it has uses. I think it will see play, but I wish it would have had like even a low damage attack or something on there to just fill it out for me. But or 2 or 3 more life or something. But
Yeah.
so that it wasn't just potentially getting punked. But it's interesting. It's super
Yeah,
interesting.
I think I'm pretty low on this card. Like I compare this to a gargoyle, which for a lot of the same, like these things are going to be your runners to go pick up early husk, right? And a gargoyle for the much of the same, like pretty much similar stats, except it can attack, um, and has a little more HP and it has nimbleness and stuff. Where this thing just I feel like dies too easily, and like if you don't draw it early, it feels really bad. Like if you draw into it late game, I do think that there will be a spot in it. I think Lienna, they're really trying to push for a deck in Lienna where you can win like turn 1 or 2, grab all 4 husks, don't kill anything,
Yeah,
and win the game.
strides and
Yeah.
yep.
So that this, definitely facilitates that. It can pick up a husk. We didn't really call that, but like, how many husks would it benefit from, right? Other than like the defensive ones or like Ring of Time and stuff like that. Like, it's not helping you attack, and so anything that like like any attacking one, just completely worthless on it. I think I'm pretty low on it. I'll kick us off with this one. I'm gonna give it a D plus. Like I said, I think it goes in that Lienna deck. I can't imagine like if you put this in Thundersteps, it runs up, grabs a husk, and then you deploy Thundersteps off it, and Thundersteps take it. But that's like the best case scenario for it.
I still think I'm at like a B minus on it. Like I really think it's in the B range for me. I wish it would have had like a low damage attack. Or again, I think if this had 2 or 3 more life, I think I would have been pretty high on it, honestly, as just like a kind of ridiculously tanky little runner. Because with phasing and 8 or 9 life, I probably would have felt pretty high on it, but 6
Yeah,
life is rough.
yeah, or even like overrun 3, like to do 3 damage. I think would have been significant. I don't know.
I
I feel
agree.
like the
Over on 3 would have been pretty hot, actually.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it can do a lot of damage if things are grouped up, right? Like you fly over a Landro bubble, and they, you do all like 8, 10 damage or something like that. Definitely can happen. But
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
think that Landro pops it with pretty much anything that shoots it. So yeah. All right. Well, D plus for me, B minus for you. We'll hop on to the next one. So we have Behemoth Khuyakine is how I'm going to pronounce it. Has 4
sure.
accuracy, 5/2 damage, 0 range, 4 speed, 12 defense, 14 HP. It has a new ability called Relocate, which is 2 AP. Place this unit anywhere within 12 inches of its current position, ignoring obstacles. Deal 2 damage to each nearby unit. Provokes retaliation. So I'm guessing it says relocate 2. I'm guessing that ties to the 2 damage that it's dealing.
Yep.
But so maybe we see this in the future. Same thing with Overrun. I just realized. I think Overrun 2, like would say. So maybe there's room in future cards for Overrun 3, Overrun 4, or whatever. But more importantly, the second ability is Resistance 1, which is obviously a bomb ability. Um, I'll do this one. So 14 HP is amazing. 4 accuracy is just stupid. That's like rivals a lot of Seekers and stuff, and even unique units. 5/2 damage. I mean, like, what's not to like about this guy's 6 cost, which is like right where I want my elites to be, where they can die and you don't just immediately lose the game. I mean, I think this thing is just going to tank so many hits with resistance 1 and 12 defense, and like that's the same stat line as the shield mage, except the shield mage has 2 less HP. Yeah, this thing's just going to be a monster, I think. Oh, it has clumsy as well. We should point out that, right? That is the
Yeah.
drawback.
When
But
you were like, "Well, what's the drawback?" I was like, "Well, I mean, it's
that
clumsy. It's
to
raises
me,
for 2."
sure, but clumsy's not really a drawback to me. Like I feel like I don't know, like most units that have clumsy are just like huge beaters, and like something else can pick up the
What's
husk.
the base size on this guy?
That's a good question. I believe it is a medium base. I can check right here. I have all the stand he's here. Oh nope, it is a large base. So
Okay. I honestly don't know if I even hate that with relocate, truthfully.
yeah,
There's probably some like really unique. I'm sure this is where you're going with it. I agree. I think this thing is a freaking banger. I
yeah.
love this card. I saw this card played by Nikki at Adepticon in sort of the play a designer games, and I really liked it then too. Um, I think it had to have clumsy. If it didn't have clumsy, this thing would be off the walls, amazing.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I am like. I don't. It's probably realistically like an A minus to me. Um, it's possible as we get it on the table and we see how easy it is to manipulate. It could just be a flat A or it could be a B plus. I don't know.
Yeah.
the how relocate is really going to play out on the table just yet. I'm kind of going on theory, but even in theory, this is like an A minus to me. I love this card.
Yeah, I mean, relocate is how it gets up the board, right? It's nice that they
Hmm.
didn't just say double your speed, so like it can't benefit from pathways or other like movement abilities. But yeah, I think this guy's going to be amazing. He is a beast, which will be relevant as they're starting to get into
Yep.
tribal stuff. So that's also important. Yeah, I
Last
gave it
one
a
was too.
yep. I gave this a B plus.
Yep.
You're gonna give it a B plus, or
Makes
what?
sense.
You're talking
I'm gonna
around
give it
the
an A. I'm gonna give it an A minus.
okay.
I really, but I wouldn't doubt that it may be a little trickier to use than I am expecting, and maybe it'll be more of like a B plus. But we'll see.
Yeah, I just want to finish off. Like, I compared this thing to the Shield Mage, but like, Gateway Guardian also has 14 HP. I mean, given there's a big difference between 15 defense and 14 or 12 defense, but um, Gateway Guardian's really hard to kill. Like, and it has spell immunity too. So I'm not but like, it's just, yeah, this thing I think is just gonna not die and just stick around forever and just keep wailing on people. So
Right.
I guess that's the last thing I wanted to end off. And I don't think, funny enough, I think that Ingor has so many clumsy units, and I think he likes playing the small swarmy list where this guy doesn't go in Ingor, but I'm pretty sure this thing goes in every other primal seeker we have available probably. So
Makes sense.
yep. All right, next one. So we got the unique unit. This is Irynia and Aratan. It is a shifter, not a beast. It is 4 accuracy, 4/2 damage, 0 range, 8 speed, 12 defense, 14 HP. It has command beast whenever this unit activates. A basic or elite beast ally you own within 6 inches may perform moves. So this is the first like kind of tribal benefit that we're seeing here. I believe this is new, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we have this on anything else, but maybe we do. I can't remember.
The
Um,
Command Beast.
yeah, or just command. So
I th-
command
Command in
something.
general, I think is unique because I was going to comment on. I don't know that we have any like free AP, but handing out an AP abilities.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
On this unit's activation, right? So it's happening for like.
right.
Yep. Yeah, actually, I think this is the very first one that we have it. So it also has Aura of Swarm, which is another new ability. Other allies within 6 inches of this gain Swarm 1, which is pretty amazing. And then it has Dash as well. Why don't you go ahead first on this?
I This one's tough for me to grade. I'm actually super curious about your grade because um I think it's really good, honestly. But an A cost unique is always like kind of tough to like for me to feel super high on generally. It's a lot of echo put into a single unit. But handing out a free AP that doesn't cost you an AP, banger. Aura of Swarm could be absolutely fantastic. It's a tight bubble, but you could definitely get some really nice extra damage out of it. And Dash is obviously fantastic, particularly on a speed 8 unit. I mean, this is a speed 8 dash unit with 4 attack and 4/2 damage stat line. It's good.
Yeah.
My only issue with it is obviously it's I guess appropriately costed, really. I mean,
Yeah.
it probably is appropriately costed with all the stuff that it does, but as it is in Malediction, dropping 8 echo into a single unit
Yeah.
that could give up 8 mastery is always tough. So at the moment, it feels like a B plus, like a B plus to me, but
Hmm.
I wonder as time goes on, maybe Beast Tribal gets even more keyworded things. Maybe it um, ends up really strong. But I don't know, hard to deny. It's got some really really hot abilities on it.
Yeah, I think this thing suffers from just too many abilities on it that jacks up its cost, right? Like the
That's fair.
ability, like dash, like what are you really doing with dash on it? And so it's paying for something you're just not going to really be able to utilize that well. I don't think this thing ever wants to really get into melee and like attack. Like I think that the ability you want, right? And if this was on like a 5 cost unit or something like that, I'd be so happy. Is the aura of Swarm 1, right? Because
Be
it,
really good on like a
yeah,
mid-costed unit. Yeah.
yeah. But that's where I'm looking at him, and I'm like, man, I really want to put this thing in a deck. Like I think Auric wants some, so your shamans, priest, crossbowmen can all like shoot things that are engaged, or like even in Lienna with like her spell strike and like artillerist and like just all the guns in Lienna as well. Like I think this thing wants to hang in the back and just buff your ranged attacks essentially with the Swarm 1. Because I think that's going to be the easiest way to enable it and keep it safe. But like all those decks like kind of want to swarm or like mid range, and it's like so hard to drop an 8 cost unit and do that like kind of swarmy mid range build. You know what I mean? Without like this 8 cost unit doing so much work by itself. So I admittedly I don't have any place like like I haven't played this at all or play tested it since the spoilers come out and everything like that. But to me, it just feels like it's not going to work. You're just going to be too like echo starved to get everything that you need on the table and really get the engine running.
Yeah, I could see that. And I mean, I could see what you're saying, where it's just it has so many admittedly fantastic abilities, but unfortunately a cost is just such a hindrance,
Yep.
um that you may be hard pressed to get,
Yeah.
its full value, even though it has a ton of ways to get value. um yeah, it would be interesting if it lost one of those abilities and went down to like a 7 or a 6.
Yeah.
It'd probably be a pretty hard banger.
Yeah, like I really want to run this in Liana because then you can get like artillerists hitting at like what is it 6/4 like with like spell strike and stuff on it and swarm, but like I think where he's really gonna live probably is Auric because Auric has the priest and can actually like get him out and pray for it with priest. Like Liana has totems, but it's not the same. So
Yeah,
like I don't
yeah.
know. I ended up being low on him for all those like this could go up. There's a lot of, I think for most of my grades I was a little lower on each of these just because like I'm a little pessimistic, but like I don't know. I gave it a C plus is what I'm trying to say. But I could be a little
Yeah,
low on it.
I think it's like a B minus.
What are you gonna give
I,
it?
I think I'd stick at I think I'd stick at B.
Okay. All right. All right. We're gonna switch over to the spells now. So the first one is the basic spell Raptor's Lift. During this unit's activation, an ally gets +3 speed and gains flying. Um, I'm sorry, but this bitch ain't got no parachute, so she is just
Mhm.
nosediving right into the ground and going splat. I think so. I don't. I guess I don't understand this art that much, but it looks sweet until you think about it for
It
like more
looks
than a
sweet.
second. Yeah. What do you make of this?
I think it fits into this mobility focused list idea, like a Liana or something that you've spoken to a few times. Where you have like Liastrum strides and you know cards
Yep.
like this manipulating speed, and you've got units with dash and things like that coming out of primal. Um,
Cheap spell strike
it's
trigger, right? Like zero cost
Yeah,
on.
right. That's no, and that's fair too. It's good. I mean, it's a one cost basic that does cool stuff. I'm not sure where it's going to land, where it's worth the slots to play it, where it's going to fit best. But yeah, I mean, cheap spell strike fodder, or a mobility focused build, which may be one and the same under Liana. It's a fine spell. It
Yeah.
doesn't like wow me, but it's totally fine, and
I
I
and
love the
this is
cost.
I mean, and I think they're doing like I will say overall in this expansion. I was gonna say this to the end, but like I think it's just warranted now because like my grade for a lot of these, like I need to see it on the table, which is like a good place to
Yeah,
be, right, for card
it's a
design and
great place
development.
to be.
My thought of this is like, how scary does this make Thundersteps? Because usually you can control Thundersteps by like putting a dude and blocking him, and like you know what I mean. Like now it's like, well, I don't know if like I don't know if Thundersteps wants to jam 3 of these, right? Or but like it's like, oh man, just to have Thundersteps
Maybe.
to fly over your line, your blind that you're trying to like jam them up with, and then just get on Morta or whoever he wants in the back line and just wreck havoc on it. It's a little bit scary. theoretically, but I just don't know how often that situation will come up and how often you'll draw this card and it'll be like, oh god, it's dead in hand. He does have the discard mechanic, but I think I'm more excited for this card in Thunderstep, especially in the 2v2 scenario, where Thundersteps can definitely charge you turn one in your deployment zone.
Yeah.
So this card is like super scary, I think, in 2v2. Maybe I'll do an episode. I don't know if I've talked to you, Zach, about this, but I know I sent it with Austin, who went to Gen Con, and they did 2v2. But there is a pretty scary, scenario out there with Thundersteps and also terrain placement where you can really just like kind of like put the nails in them turn one, and it cannot go well. They didn't do well on it, but I'm going to blame that on the player, not the strategy, clearly. But yeah, I think this card is pretty nuts in the 2v2 format. I gave it a B minus, and that probably is a little too high, but we'll see.
I don't think it's too high. It might, like, again, I'm not sure where it lands. I'm not sure how many copies of it eventually land where this card is best utilized, but it does relevant good things, and it costs one, or on Starcast it's zero,
Yeah.
and that's pretty fantastic. I think it's at least a B.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, we will go to the next one. This is the elite primal spell called Landshift. Costs 3 echo. It is swift speed. A player declares the first player to activate a unit on that round. Choose a husk. Place that husk anywhere within 6 inches of its current position, ignoring obstacles. This is another one that was spoiled at Adepticon by Nikki. So we've seen it a while. It has not changed. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this when you saw it, I guess?
This is going to be one of those ones. I think its usage is so niche. It is an elite, so you have 2 copies in your deck, that I can't justify giving it like a super high grade.
No, yeah.
But some games it's going to be like absolutely like ball busting bananas good.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the time it's going to be fairly irrelevant. That said, it's super interesting. It's almost leaning into like like so many of these actually. Like, is there some interesting like combo build that will eventually arise that does try to just like jam 4 husks turn one or
Oh yeah.
something crazy? Um
I've heard
but
I've heard from some players they've already done it, like proxying these cards and stuff, like turn one. But I think
I mean, I've seen like legitimately 7-minute games of Malediction, like it
yeah,
exists. But I don't know. I think the card's super interesting. I'm actually glad it exists. I think there's been a lot of cards previously released that I was like, ugh, like this is so niche and it's like not super interesting, and I've ragged on them. This is not that. This is super niche. But it's super interesting,
I
which is
guess. Yeah.
cool. So it's honestly, it's like a D plus.
Okay, good.
Maybe it's C.
I thought you were.
It's like
Yeah,
no, it's like a D. It's like a D plus. But
yeah,
it is super interesting, and I like it.
yep,
Like it's a neat card. It's
yeah,
not like a garbage D card that like I'm like, okay, well, I'll never really look at that twice again. This I will. This like inspires me to try and make some like weird jank,
yeah.
deck, but it's not a good card.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, like, it's only good if you get it in the opening hand. Otherwise, it's pretty much unplayable for the rest of the game. Like, unless you manage to kill something and then move the
Yeah.
husk to like where you want it. Like, it does have the wording as well as telekinesis, so it's not like completely within 6 inches. So you get like the width of the husk to it's like essentially 7 inches of its current position. But yeah, I think it's a D plus as well. It's like the upper echelons of the niche cards to go into that Lienna build where like maybe you can win on turn one. I think that
They I really think that they probably could have like just taken the first sentence out of here. Like, I don't know that it needed to be so restricted to like
oh
first
that
player activating, and then you make it
that's
you make
really
it a
punishing.
channel or something, and
Sure.
and and I don't know. There could be some like cool plays with Husk movement that isn't so restricted.
I think I'd
But
be okay with that if Malediction played best of three. You know what I mean? But like getting that, I'm like, oh man. Like I'll be honest with you, I think that this is really punishing for Londril as well. Like the deck, like we're like in those matchups where your opponent plays Tusk really well, you're only gonna get one, and then they've moved it 7 inches further away, and you're like, God damn it, I don't know how I'm gonna grab this thing. You know, like I'm gonna have to
yeah,
TK my own model to go get it or contest it or something like that.
yeah,
No, I'm glad it exists as well because I think like jank decks that just like disrupt and take people out like unexpectedly, like
yeah.
Dark Horse it is good for the game. So
It's a
yeah,
cool design direction too. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
All
So loot, take that away. Like
right.
low grade, it's a bad card,
Yeah,
but it's a cool card, and we're glad you made it.
yep, absolutely. All right, so we have the unique spell Ymirian Rage, 3 cost, channel speed, deal 5 damage to a unit, return any of its equipped relics to the bottom of the relic deck. If you do that, unit claims and equips a relic from the top of the relic deck. Um, I'll go on this one. I think this card's amazing. I don't know how you don't just jam it in every single deck. Like we talk about the damage ratio with a lot of cards, 1 echo equals 2 damage. This is just 1 damage off, paired with like also a super strong effect to knock someone's relic boots off or whatever. You know, like you can even fire it off on. So I don't think they have to have a relic, right? Deal no, just yeah, you can just deal 5 damage to a
Return
unit.
any of it.
Yep,
Yeah. Mhm.
yep. So yeah, like I don't know. I think this is just solid. You know,
I think it's good too. I think it's really good. The ability to, um, yeah, I mean, if people really fought to get like a Veil Piercer or yeah, boots, as the first relic chosen or something, the ability to just blast it away is legit.
I mean, reach damage, right? And like for those that are card game connoisseurs, reach damage is just damage like Twin Flames, anything that can just deal damage without having to play on board, right? Like the minis and stuff like that. So anything like that is this much damage, like 5 is significant. That's
Yep.
most things only have like 10, 12 HP, so it's like half their life, right? Yeah, no, I think it's solid for sure. I give it an A minus. There's really not much to
Yeah,
say
I
on
think I'm
it.
about there. It's like A minus B plus for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I think it along with the what a choice of brutality is just like in every single deck now, probably because they're both just ridiculously good and they have that reach damage and choice even draws you a card, but this knocks off a relic that can be really beneficial. So yeah. All right. The last card, and this is new, so we are getting faction themed items. So these are only this one is only an item that can be taken, in a primal for the primal seekers. They're all going to be elite attachments. So this is a 1 cost elite attachment. It's a Avakran Flute, and essentially the unit gains battle cry. Um, yeah, I this one's really interesting to me. I don't know if like red really needs more battle cry because you already have the shaman, which is just amazing. But I don't know for like auric and stuff, it's a cheap item to chuck, like to throw the damage at one echo to do +2 damage. Opens up like a lot of angles where you're like you don't know who's coming to come and get you essentially. Um,
It's interesting too to think of it potentially being played on things that are traditionally higher rank than what Battlecry exists on, right? Like on an
yeah,
elite or even a unique or even a seeker, right?
sure.
I don't know if you're trading seeker AP for
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's what I was.
but you know what I'm saying? Like the idea of that, there's some
Yeah.
interesting stuff in there too. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's probably really good in some situations. So it's a solid card.
Yeah. I gave it a D plus. It might be a little low. I think it's only good in Auric. I can't imagine, like you said, like I go through that exercise of like, oh, do I put it on a seeker? No, their actions are way too important. Do I put it on a uke? Yeah, unique? Probably not. Their actions are way. You know what I mean? Like I just don't know what unique would want this. Maybe that new one actually that wants to sit in the back and just give your guys form one and stuff like that. Maybe he wants it, but I still think that even with the recent change of attachments, not giving mastery and stuff like that, I still just don't think a lot of them are just worth the card outside of like
Yeah.
Auric. So I gave it a D
Yeah,
plus.
I think I'm more like C minus ish, but It's interesting.
All right, cool. We are gonna switch now to the Legion faction. So theirs is called Courtly Spectacle. Not really sure what that means, but I didn't read the lore. Shame on me. But yeah, the first one we're gonna start. Yeah, we're gonna start off with a really good one. I don't know. I feel like we'll say that a lot with Legion, but first one is Mashr, 2 cost basic unit. It is a human, 1 accuracy, 2/1 damage profile, 6 speed, 10 defense, 6 HP. New ability, Convoke Fallen. When this unit is defeated, you may search your deck for a fallen unit without and of its rank or lower, and play it exhausted without spending Echo. If you do, deploy it in this unit's place, equipped with any attachment this unit had. Shuffle your deck. Why don't you go first?
I don't know where I'm putting it yet, but this card is super playable. I think it does some really unique things. I'm trying to think of like how I even want to use it, which I guess is already kind of telling that this is playable, and I want to see what it can do on the table because having it be like a husk holder that is like essentially what 2 units, right? Holding relic
Yep.
at that point is pretty freaking cool. It thins the deck, it searches out things that you want on the field. It's, not a fallen itself, which is probably good. The card would probably be way too good at that point. But I wish it was, of course. I don't know. I like it. I don't know that it's an A card, but it's like probably high B. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's a sweet card.
Yeah, this is definitely the bomb in common for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, it's the best common in the set. I think. I'll start with the disclaimer. Nikki wants you to put the Barrow Defiler in your deck, and then use Necrophage to banish this guy from your card, and then somehow like Corpse Explosion or something like that. Your Barrow Defiler to kill it, and then when it dies, you can bring back like a unique or something like that, and like fetch thrice out or something like that. So there's jank possibilities out there if you really want to get into it. But I think this guy, like, I think the best unit you pull out is just your Stitch Corpses, right? Because like they're gonna die in
Yeah.
common. You get resistance 1, so they're gonna be even harder. Like these guys are gonna be the most annoying units to just like turn off reinforcements to be like, hey, you're not going to reinforce off that guy, or you're not going to claim this husk because I'm contesting it. And they're like, it's just a done. Like you're not going through this thing's like HP as well as like a Stitch Corpse, or they come in exhausted, but even like a Dead at Arms with 10 HP and 12 defense, right? Like it just makes it really annoying. Yeah, but Stitch Corpses to deploy off there and then immediately get like the swarm bonuses and stuff like that is going to be really good. My question to you is, how many basic fallen are you needing to run in order to play this guy, do you think?
That I
Like
don't know.
three
Gosh, I'd have to
copies.
think about that. I mean, and this is where I'm not quite sure where I slotted in either, because in like Morida, and I think your build is probably the same.
Yeah.
I'm maxed out basically on my the basic fallen that exists presently
Yeah,
in
I
that
don't
deck. Like I'm
I think
playing them all. So
this will be in my new Grizza deck for sure. And then also Vorindel, I think. I don't think you want this in Ingor, but I mean in both those decks I think it's just ridiculously good. I would say 5. You need 5 other basic fallen units. And that's how many I'm running in my
like
Grizza.
5 cards.
Yeah, 5 cards. Yeah. So like I think in
Yeah, I
my
think that's fair.
Grizza deck, I'm running 3 Stitch Corpses and 2 Dead at Arms in order to justify running 3 copies of this. Um,
I think that's fair. I
yeah.
think that that's like bare minimum though.
Yep. There's also other benefits. Like I got a good Grizza deck. I think that's really going to be busted. We'll see. I can't wait to start jamming games into them. I've already played 3 games with them. I'm 3-0, and all of them were like really easily like just walked over people. But like the with Grizza, you have order to access to order. There's that new unique unit that I'll call back. But there's reasons why like you want units that can just take damage essentially, right? And like this is one of them. Yeah, I gave it a B plus. Like I said, it's not quite A
Yep.
minus, but like a 2 cost unit that can pick up Husk, give it. That's the other thing we talked about. Like, if it manages to pick up a Husk and it dies, then you just like that's when you bring out your Dead at Arms. Like, right? I don't think this guy wants to be bringing out Deadeye Archers because like you're probably going to be a melee then, and like it can't do anything in melee. So like I'm running 3 Stitch Corpses and 2 Dead at Arms, and I think those are the guys you want to bring out. If you have a relic, bring in the Dead at Arms. What are you giving it? B plus as well.
B plus. Yep.
Cool. All right. And into the next banger. This is a 5 cost unit, Fallen Horror. It is called Masarin Deathsinger. 2 accuracy, 3/2 damage profile, 6 range, 6 speed, 11 defense, 10 HP. New ability called Mockery 2. Whenever an enemy unit within 6 inches resolves a graze, its owner loses 2 echo. If it is a critical graze, you also draw a card. It also has Jinx, which is on Grizza's unit, which is whenever this unit is defeated, each opponent discards the card. Man. I'm so happy yet scared to see this unit at the same time, I think. Uh, what do you got on this guy?
This is a banger. I don't know that it's like an A banger, but in the decks that it is going to be played in and the card combos within which you're going to want to play this, it's going to be a straight A card.
Yeah.
Like in a vacuum, I don't know if it's an A. In you playing it in like Grizza with custodians or something, like this is an A
Yeah.
card.
Oh man.
This is a banger.
I don't
In
I
that
don't care if it
build.
loses me the game. I will if someone is attacking and I can fucking turn the custodian to draw me a card and lose 2 echo, I'm gonna always do it. I don't know. It just seems way too much value.
Well, and I think, yeah, right. And like just having even more Jinx units on the board
Yep.
is just legitimately great.
Yep.
It's probably an A minus still. Honestly, this card's really good. It's a fallen. You can search it out if you're playing it in Morida.
Yep.
It's got play probably in multiple Legion builds, and it's going to be really awesome when combined with things that can actually like influence its abilities.
Yeah. I'll just like call them like some of the stat. Like I think this thing is just amazing. Like most things you're rolling like with your accuracy against defense, right? Unless it's like Stitch Corpses or I'm gonna leave out like all the like eight defense, right? But if like most things are like defense 11, 10, 11, 12, right? And with like your 1 or 2 accuracy that most basics have and stuff like that, like you're hitting 40 or like you're grazing 40% of the time. And I think that this card would be just like it's still good, but Jinx puts it over the top for me, where you can just jam it in positions where like it's going to be annoying and you're going to have to kill it. Like your opponent's going to have to kill it, and when they do, they're discarding a card on top of it. So like already like it's just automatic a 2-for-1, right? Like it feels like unless your opponent's completely out of cards, which you're probably winning the game anyways. But um, yeah, I think it's a 10 HP on a 5 cost unit as well. Like it's just like 6 range. Like it just has all the stats. Like I don't understand how this isn't. If you're positioning well, how this isn't just a nightmare unit for your opponent, regardless of what deck it's in. And then in Grizza, you pair it with the custodians, and these things just go off in twos, or the custodians in front jamming while this thing's shooting in the back, and they have to kill this custodian to get it, get through and stuff. And this thing is just like draining their echo and drawing cards. And yeah, I gave it an A for sure, not an A plus, but I think it's an A pretty much.
I think I'm at A minus on it, but regardless, it's an A card.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is the best card in the set. I will say as well, hands down. I don't know if there's one better than this, but
Maybe. Yeah.
all right. We got the unique unit for Fallen. It is Champion of Drav, 9 cost, unique. Fallen Horror, 4 accuracy, 4/2 damage, 8 speed, 13 defense, 16 HP. Feign opening, choose an enemy to retaliate against this unit. This unit then performs an attack against that enemy unit and deals extra damage equal to the damage suffered by the retaliation. Triumphant, whenever this unit defeats an enemy, it recovers health equal to the number of other units within 6 inches. I actually did play someone against us with that was able to play this unit against my Grizza deck. Actually, I will say that my assessment in it. So first of all, 4/2 damage. Oof, that sucks. But I do like the rest of its stats. 8 speed, 13 defense, 16 HP. Feign opening just seems like, I don't know. Like, I'm not impressed by it at all.
Is it a trap?
It's not even well. Like you want to use this against little things to punk them, but then like little things are probably going to graze you, so it's like 1 damage, and then you're hitting at 5/3 anyways. You can't use this ability on a charge. Like it's just like I don't get where it happens. And like, yeah, you can be a trap where it's like all of a sudden like, oh, it hits you, and it's like, oh man, that did a lot. I will say though that Triumphant, it did way more work than I thought it was gonna do. This thing, you pretty much have to wait for it to activate and then kill it in order to like drop it down, because like I made the mistake of like putting like 6 damage into it and then like didn't kill it, and then it goes and like it kills like one thing and just full health. It's like, okay, like, yeah, we have to wait for this thing to go, and then I'll just murder it with like in one activate, like one round with all activations left. So it did make it way tankier than I thought it was going to be. Which kind of brought it up. But otherwise, I think this is just okay. I'm glad to see it for Vorendell. I think it's that it's a fallen unit, so his legacy is going to proc it. It's going to go off run, do a bunch of stuff, kill a bunch of things. That will be cool. And I like that it's more tankier than it was. So I'm actually, my initial grading on it is going up based on even just on that one game, ever so slightly. But
where are you at on it?
I think I have it as a B minus.
Okay, I was thinking more like C plus.
Yeah, I had it at a C plus. The Triumphant really made it tanky along with 16 HP. So I think it can be really hard to actually just kill. So
yeah,
what do you, C plus or B minus?
I think C plus. I mean, the 9 is just
that's the
so
thing
expensive.
though. Like how do you drop this and Vorendell? Like and like maybe like you're not dropping Vorendell anymore, but like Vorendell just seems really good. Like he's really hard to kill as well, and has that aura and the onslaught, though you'll never get it. Like I don't know. It just like you drop both of these guys and you have 6 echo. I don't know. Yeah, that's my big problem too with uniques. So maybe I was right in my initial C plus, but I did like that. Yeah, Triumphant made it way more. I like defensive abilities, and this is a good one. All right, so we got the basic spell. It is 2 cost, horrific archery, channel speed, deal 2 damage to a unit. During this activation, it gains +6. This has Vorendell written all over it. I actually don't know if anyone else is taking this other than Vorendell. It's another one of those deal damage to your own unit to gain benefits. And it's going to proc his legacy. And 6-inch range is really good for stitch corpses that want to swarm and kill a bunch of shit at range 6, or just kind of anything. Like Thrice Murder range 6 is really good. So I think this card's solid. I think it's a godsend for Vorendell pretty much, and definitely brings them up competitively. Just this one spell alone.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think it's good in Vorendell. I don't know where else it's. I don't know where else it's slotting in.
Yeah.
But it's a great little ad for him.
Yep.
I think it's. I mean, I don't know. It's like a C plus. It's fine. It's going to do great stuff for certain decks. But it's not like a fitting in everywhere Legion banger or something like that. But
you're right. That's what like grading these are like really hard. Like I gave it a C plus because like I think what it does for Vorendell is just like this will be a staple in Vorendell decks for the next 5
it is
years.
Better than a C. Yeah, right. It's like a better than a C plus.
Yeah, but like nobody else wants. Yeah, but nobody else wants this. So like how much does it like? We're not going to do individual grades for every single seeker, but like I just think it's C plus for everyone else.
And that's cool. I'm super okay with them making cards that specifically work well and bring up prior seekers, especially those that could really use some extra TLC.
Yep. Would you give it a C?
A C plus.
C plus. All right. Next card is the Elite Soul Mimicry. It is a channel speed. 3 cost. Choose an ally until the end of the activation. It has the abilities of another ally within 6 inches of it instead of its own. Oh, so it replaces actually. Oh, okay.
I was just gonna say my first read. I did not understand that it was instead of its own.
Yeah.
I don't know. This one's weird. Like You might maybe have put more thought into some of the uses for this card, and I'm sure that there are many. Um, but it's a weird one. I mean,
I,
you really have to have kind of a specific plan for including it in your deck.
yeah.
It's not necessarily a build around, but it's pretty close to a build around in some ways, in the sense of if you don't have a plan for it, you're not just sticking it in.
Yeah, the best use case I have now of it, and I didn't come up with this, but people want to take soul mimicry in Morta so that your Stitch Corpse or whatever, some basic fallen can then necromancy out like more. And then they're pairing it with salvage to get those basic into the discard, get this back. And it's like you want to like salvage is a new card in Conclave coming up, but like 5 cards to cut from Morta, which like I feel like Morta is like already like like I don't know. I just did a deck review.
Yeah.
That was like I like to rib Zach a little bit because like I call it my Morta deck when like all I did was change 2 cards, but it's pretty much your Morta deck that you ran ever since the beginning of time. And it was like 2 or 3 cards with the new stuff. But yeah, like I do I can't cut any 5 cards I think that I'd want in there for this, or let alone 2. So yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd be curious to see that engine work and see if it really has legs. I'm not convinced that it does,
yeah,
um, but it might. But yeah, this is like, I don't know. This is probably like a C minus card.
yeah,
But it's really interesting.
yeah,
And somebody is gonna this is a card that can be broken and likely will be broken at some
yes.
point. And that'll be super cool to see. But it's very, very niche.
Zach, what happens if they made Curse really broken? Then
One
maybe
can
this
only
card would be
hope.
good. Yeah,
One can
yeah.
only hope.
All right. What do you got for? I put a D for this. What did you get?
I said C minus,
C
but yeah,
minus.
it's
Okay. All right. We'll move on to the next one. Choice of Malady, unique card. It has 3 costs. It's channel speed. Choose a refresh non-secret enemy. Its owner may exhaust that enemy. If they don't, draw 3 cards. This is the one that was funny because they spoiled it and they forgot to the version of the card they spoiled didn't have the word refreshed. And everyone was like, "This card is busted," and I was like, "What? I don't remember this card being busted at all." Like, let me look, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, they made a mistake here. This is definitely the card they spoiled.
yeah.
Is definitely wait because if it didn't have refresh, you could just already target an exhausted unit and then immediately draw 3 cards. But no, you have to do a refreshed one. Give them the option. Um, I let I got played against some proxy this against me. I thought I was going to win the game if I had that unit. I did, so I let them draw 3 cards, and then that unit did not hit. So I gambled it pretty. I gambled the game on this unit hitting twice to kill Thrice Murder and then win the game. Spoilers, that did not happen, and then I immediately regretted them drawing 3 cards. And I think that's probably the last time I'll ever let someone draw 3 cards. I can't imagine a situation unless it literally loses me the game where it's like I have to contest a husk or something like that. You're just never drawing 3 cards. So this card pretty much gets treated as like what is that
Yeah.
exhaust a unit thing. Um, yeah,
I don't know. I want this card to be good. And I just don't know that it is.
yeah.
Um, I think I'm on just like it's hard, like, I don't know. It's hard for me to go lower than like a C on a card that like potentially just draws you 3 cards, which
All
is
right.
super hot. But I honestly don't think it's any higher than that. I think it's probably a C.
Yep. Yeah. I thought I've even played this a couple times. I thought I could be really cheat. Like I was like, oh, like turn one when they're gonna go and pick up a husk, you can delay them, and like nope. Turns out people are just so happy to be like, you know what, I'll get that husk next round. Like it's not that important. 3 cards just can definitely if letting your opponent draw 3 cards can definitely just lose you the game. I guess is what I'm trying to say. And for that ability, I think it's just 90% plus of the time you're just exhausting a unit, unfortunately.
Yep. Tap,
So
just tap the guy.
yep. All right, and then we got the attachment for Fallen. It is 2 cost elite Oskarite Blade. This unit gains power +1, which is cool. And then Reap 2, whenever this unit defeats an enemy, you score extra 2 mastery. What do you got on this?
I actually like Reap. I think that's a really cool ability,
But,
and might actually be like really good in some contexts.
yep,
Um, this is a 2 cost attachment though, so like I that makes it tough.
yep,
To like find its deck slots and really get its worth. But like there will be situations where this is gonna go on something and it's gonna like legit win the game because it's gonna get like 3 extra mastery that just close the game.
yep,
Maybe this has some legs in like a kind of a swarmy, more to tempo type build. But again, we run into the problem where like decks like that are
yep,
already real like the stuff that's going to change those deck lists have to be like hard bangers because the deck lists are so tight.
yep,
And that's where I would like to see this get played the most is making some like low level basic swarmy dude be able to be a finisher with an extra damage and just like your games with these tempo decks so often are tight. You're winning by like not much.
yeah,
And even when you really feel like you're in control of the field, and like this kind of maybe separates that mastery differential a little more for you and gives you some extra breathing room. And so I don't know. I like it, but I just don't know where I
yeah.
fit it in anywhere. And
I
it's a C for me.
Yeah, I gave it a C minus, but I will say I think this is a sideboard card. I think when you want this is when you're facing the swarm matchups, right? Because like all of a sudden, if that Terric Beast is giving up 4 mastery, that Curse Boar is giving up 4, these basic fallen units are giving up 5, like that's how you can squeak out the win above these these matchups. Um, so like I would actually tech this like side this in I think against Ingor. It's like depending on who you're playing, but yeah, maybe siding this in against Ingor or Morta to just farm these like little dorks that are just going to be running around all over the place. That's my best use case for it right now. I think it's really cool. I think it's a decent card. It just suffers from being an attachment. And like the other thing I want to call it is Reap is whenever this unit defeats an enemy unit, score 2 mastery. We've seen this on a couple other abilities like cleave, well, not cleave, hit and run, or hit and run's the only one that's coming to mind actually. I think there's a couple more, but it has to be like an attack or an ability from the unit. It can't be a spell that it's not during this unit's activation, right? So I think that is actually a pretty big drawback, that you can't like use unmake and then get the 2 mastery, killing it,
Oh,
off its
yeah, that would be
anniversary. So,
cool.
yep. So I gave it a C minus. What'd you give it?
See.
Okay. All right, we are now on to Conclave, which is the Liastrum Research Pack. So this is a basic fallen unit, Liastrum Accumulator, 1 accuracy, 3/1 damage, 5 speed, 10 defense, 8 HP. It is a spellbound construct. It has a new ability called Spell Focus 1. The next spell, this isn't new actually. I think this is on an attachment from the Grizza pack, but the next spell you cast,
Hmm.
this activation costs 1 fewer echo, I believe. I thought that maybe that I'm thinking of like the Nexi whatever item. I don't know. I never use it, but maybe it's new. And then the other
I'd
the
have to go
other
back and look.
this one's definitely new is Catalyst 2. Whenever you play a spell during this the activation of a unit within 6 inches, you may exhaust this unit. If you do, reduce the cost of that spell by 2. I think this is an amazing Polynor unit. I'm playing 3 in my Polynor decks. I think Polynor definitely wants like dorks that you can like cheap dorks you can throw in front to screen him and like just die and keep Polynor clean so he can just shoot wherever he wants. And on top of that, like, hey, if this thing's gonna die, let me get some value out of it and turn it sideways and activate it for Catalyst 2 and Polynor can get his free Twin Flames or something like that, right? Or something bigger like a discharge to manifest whatever it is. So yeah, I love this guy a lot. Yeah, 3 cost. What's not to like about it?
Yeah, I'm super high on this guy too, and it might just be because my play style tends to like align with Conclave, and this is an excellent Conclave unit. Um, but I mean, I think, yeah, I don't know where else it sees play outside of Polynor, but whatever. I love Polynor. I
Yeah.
love this unit.
Maybe.
And I'm on like a B or a B plus for it.
Uh-huh.
But it's really good
Yeah.
where it's supposed to be good.
I think spell like in funny enough in Polynoir spell focus one, you like that like you're only wanting to cast like telekinesis, right? Like you don't want to cast your damage dealing spells to not benefit from like empower and stuff like that, right? So spell focus one is typically for like telekinesis or stride or something like that, you know, if you need it. But in other lists like Lienna, if you want to get an adrenaline rush for one echo off someone, right? Like you're on this thing's on terrain, it activates, cast adrenaline rush for one more. Yeah, it could be good. So
I think, yeah, I mean, I think 9 times out of 10, it's getting into a particular position and then you're using it for catalyst.
yep. Yeah, I gave this a B minus. You gave it a B plus. We'll move on to the next one. This is exciting. It is an elite unit, 4 cost, Thaumite Mercenary, 3 accuracy, 3/2 damage, 0 range, 6 speed, 12 defense, 12 HP, expertise 1. This is a new ability. This unit gets +1 for each attachment it has equipped, and then also another new ability, Arcane Precision. This unit gains +X accuracy, where X is the number of spells in your discard pile. Why don't you go first with this one?
I don't know. It's a unique card, but I just legitimately have no idea where I'm playing this card right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what Conclave build has me playing attachments that, I mean, obviously, you can have a relic on it, and um, get some benefit, but then like, why are you playing it if you know what I mean? I just
Yep.
don't know where this is getting played, at least in the current decks that exist in the game. And so at the moment, it's kind of like this orphan card to me. It's neat, and maybe it'll have a home in the future, but I don't think it does right now.
Yeah. So, um, you are where I was for the longest time until I started like thinking about this more. And what happens if I told you this guy is just a Cabra Mauler? How would you feel about it then? Because like it's literally the exact same stats as Cavermuller with the upside of like expertise 1 instead of the wild strike. Doesn't have knockback, but it's more precise. Like just a 12 defense, 12 HP, especially in Conclave that just doesn't have access to to stuff that survives. Like the more I realize like this thing is just a stat stick, and I actually love it because like Conclave stuff just all dies. This guy can actually maybe like pick up a relic that's like the heart, go up to 17 HP with regen, and like stick around and start beating people in the face at 4/3 damage, right? Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm beginning to like this guy more and more. I think about him, and I'll probably just start jamming him. And you know, I think I put him in Palinor only because, like, again, Palinor's
He
units
might
kind of
go.
suck.
Yeah, I was gonna say he might go in Polinar because I don't know. I mean, this may just be a better choice than like the filler scholars or
Right?
whatever that you're sticking in for bodies.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fair. And I guess, I it's not a bad unit. But I don't know. I mean, it's like a C to me because it's just vanilla. But maybe I'm just too low on it because you're right. I mean, the Cabra Mauler is better than a C unit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's tough. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I gave it a B minus. I think this thing is going to be. I really would love to see this unit in a new like a non-Morta Legion Fall, like Legion Conclave dual caster seeker. You know what I mean? They're like even like it's so hard because like we said, like Morta, Londrel, these have decks that are just like I feel like there's no wiggle room. It's so hard to get into those decks. But like this guy could definitely find a home in a new dual faction seeker. You know what I mean? Quite easily. Like, especially with a new order one where you just give them some attachments or something like that, and like I don't know, kind of start blowing things
Yeah.
away. Could be interesting. So B minus for me, C for you. We'll move on to the next one. All right, we got Athan, Prime Decimator, 8 cost unique, human, 4 accuracy, 5/2 damage, 12 range, 5 speed, 13 defense, 12 HP, focus blast, 2 AP. This unit performs a range attack with +6 range and deals an extra 5 damage. Recoil 1 whenever this resolves an attack, deal 1 damage to it. Repelled 4 whenever this unit resolves a range attack, push it 4 inches away from the defender. This is another one that was revealed in Adepticon. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I like this guy a lot for Polinor. I mean, it can, like, if you can get it in position with like Liastrum Strides and stuff like that, which, there'll be essentially six copies of that. Three you have to drop, but then you can play up to 6 times. TKs and stuff like that. Like, this guy will get in position and just delete things, and I don't think you ever want to get it closer than the 18 inches away from things that you just are wanting to delete. Like, it picks off, like, I don't think, like, if you need to put it into something big and scary, great, but otherwise, like, just deleting, like, Terric Beasts or anything at 10 HP or less, get activations off the board is going to be really solid from it, I feel.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And there's not really a ton more to say about it. It's like, it's probably a little bit more, it's probably a little difficult to get into position in some games. And I could see it, being a bit frustrating for, to get its full value.
Yeah.
It is an 8 cost unique, but it's totally solid. And when it's doing what you need it to do, it's gonna feel real hot.
Yep.
So I'm at a B on it.
Okay.
But I'm happy to slot it into a bunch of different builds B.
Yeah. I gave it a B plus, which might be the highest unique in this one. Yeah, I think I did. I like it the best out of all of them, I think, for the unique units. So,
Yeah,
uh,
that might be true.
all right. We're moving over to spells now. First one is called Salvage. 2 cost basic, channel speed. Discard the top 2 cards of your deck. You may return a basic or elite non-unit card from your discard pile to your hand. So it doesn't have to be the card you discard. Like, either of the cards you discard, you could get back anything. What are your thoughts on this one?
I don't. Okay, this card is. I'm glad we have it. It is going to. It's another one that, like, I don't know that we have the tools necessarily. Maybe we do, but I don't know that we have the tools necessarily to, like, abuse it yet.
Yeah.
But it is, like, infinitely abusable and will be one that, like, people, like, deck builders are going to go back to. Like, as releases keep coming out, as new seekers come out, like, this is one that is going to get a lot of looks, I think, for a variety of builds going forward, and that's super cool. But it is like a niche, kind of. I don't know how much it helps with consistency, which is what I think would bring up its like rating or
Yeah.
value to me. But it is a really cool, like, combo enhancer, I guess, or it's a combo facilitating card,
Sure.
and I'm sure that there are great uses for it now. I haven't sat down and really, like, thought of how to squeeze it in and get the most value of it right now, but I like the card a lot.
Yeah.
I'm only like at like a C plus on it, but it is like a asterisk C plus that, like, this is going to find a home and it's going to be awesome when it does.
Yeah, I think the two use cases now, right, is like I see people playing this in Morta or wanting to play this in
Yep.
Morta with the Mockery to get to Fallen into the discard, and then you can necromancy them out. But like that detracts so much, in my opinion. Like, the best part about Morta's legacy is to be able to discard a unit to gain that benefit, right?
Right.
Like
It's
like
right.
you
It's the
you
soul stitching.
yeah, it's like turn one, yeah, you discard a unit and don't utilize the benefit really turn one just to get the engine going, but like soul stitching to give swarm 2 or like swarm 1 or like phasing, flying, like that's the strongest aspect of her game, right? Paired with the necromancy. So like a card that just like helps you dump guys quicker, like usually if you're playing well, usually by turn like 3, like you already have a bunch of fallen you can pick from to necromancy guys out, right? Like, it's not like you have a problem getting fallen into your
You generally,
discard.
I mean, you are generally, when I play Morta anyway, like, from turn one on,
Yeah.
you have been abusing that engine and she already works.
Yeah.
I don't know that she needs this facilitating card. And again, same with Polynor. Like,
Yeah.
I can see uses for salvage in Polynor, like, it's just not really needed.
Yep.
But it's a super good card for a variety. Like, it's going to facilitate something awesome in the future,
Yeah.
but I don't know that we have it yet.
Yeah, so this is another one we saw at Adepticon, and when we were at Adepticon, I actually like pleaded with them to change it to be able to get back any basic or elite, right, card, drop the non-unit from it, because I think like ditching your gold cards is just feels so like bad already on top of itself. But then like ditching like if you bin 2 units in your deck, especially in Polynor that wants to run like a little bit more spell heavy, right? Like 14, 13 units. If you bin 2 units, you are screwed now because you're not probably hitting very many units for the rest of the game, right? Like
Right.
it just like was it worth buying back your twin flames for 1 extra cast? Probably not. And so like I think this card would have been good in the current game if they added the non-unit. Now we talk about future
It
state, and
could have
you're oh go ahead.
it could have even seen some play in the current game, or maybe even like, and we'll see, I guess, if it matters for future gameplay as well.
Yeah.
But if it was a Swift,
Mm.
it could still be non-unit, but it could have been like a literally like dig my ass out of a situation type of thing
Get
where I,
another Swift
dig.
back. Yeah, yeah,
Right, dig for a counter or a prevention spell.
yeah.
That could have been interesting.
Yeah, but to your point about future state, I think that, back playing Magic again, Hobbit came out, so I've been grinding a couple games on that and stuff. I think the thing that I realized that if we get to a point where spells are more easily and better at putting units on the board, right? Like if we get a spell that's like drop token units, right? You know what I mean? Like in Magic the Gathering, then I think this thing immediately comes on, right? Because like I think that's the downside of it is like it's great it's card value and card selection, which is great, especially if you can access more of the graveyard. But I like or your discard to get things back, like back for more and stuff like that. Those cards are all bad, but maybe we get to a state where there's better ones. And if they ever create a spell that is somehow generates a unit, I think this card will be really good. And I wouldn't be surprised we get there because just of how much they're influenced by Magic, and Magic already has that already, obviously. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I gave it a D minus. Just again, that's the current grade, current meta. I don't think I literally
I
don't think
think,
this
yeah,
goes in any deck. To be honest with you,
I would
like
agree. I think I'm giving it a little benefit of the doubt because like I'm thinking of it in terms of like how it would play in other games.
yeah,
And assuming that we're gonna get there in the future,
yeah.
it is probably like a D plus, C minus ish realistically right now. I think I will land on C minus because I'm gonna be the optimist that someday this card will get broken, but I do wish it was a Swift.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will. We'll see in the future. I'm sure it'll come back around. But my grade is for right now D minus. Okay, we got Crackling Trap, 4 cost elite, channel speed. Choose a husk, deal 4 damage to any number of units within 3 inches of that husk. So you can select just your opponent's units and not your own. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that this is really expensive, but I think it's very strong, especially in the late game when you're often kill something or like maybe when something dies that drops a husk and then it's the fight turns into fighting over that one husk, right? Just being able to blow everything, trying to contest it away, and you snipe it is pretty good. I came up with the strategy of, and I made a meme of like the Batman Dark Knight where the guy's like, my tummy doesn't feel too good, right? Like, what happens if
Yeah,
you gave
yeah.
like a Behemoth and a husk and just like ran him into your opponent's army and be like, oh yeah, can you murder that for me? Thanks, and then just like pop this off and just do like like 20, 25 damage to like all his stuff. I think that would be pretty sweet to pull off. Yeah, right now I think it's only in Polynor. I think it's a one-off, right? Because then you have 2 copies of it essentially, and you
Yep.
can get it out with like
It's
Rippling
only
Potential
in
and stuff like that. But it's pretty good. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah. I think it's like I don't know. I think it's like a C plus or like a C. Um, but I want to try it. I want to
Yeah,
get it into Polynor and try it out.
for sure. I gave it a C. I'll put you down for a C plus.
I think C. I think C is more realistic on this one.
Sounds good.
Um,
All right. The unique spell Liastrum Decimation cost X. What does that mean? Deal X damage to an enemy. If X is 6 or greater, deal X plus 2 instead. So some rules clarifications on this. If you're on like conclave terrain or whatever, you pick the cost of the X first. So like let's say I have 5 Echo available to me, but I'm on Starcast Halls. So I will pick the cost of 6, right? So the damage will be 6. And then eventually be plus 2, so 8 damage, but I only have to pay 5 Echo because it's cost me 1 fewer Echo. So hopefully that makes sense to everyone. That your discounts from whatever you get, the new Liastrum spider unit, you know that you still get the benefit of the X being applied to the damage. What are your thoughts on this one?
I have not done the math to really think through this one and like where the breakpoints are. I'm sure you have,
It's
but
6. That's the best it will ever be.
yeah, yeah. So I guess five echo for 8 damage is generally what you're hoping for.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's a good finisher, and it probably slots into a couple conclave builds, but I don't know. It's not on make. It's
Nope. Never.
fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
The best it will ever be. I don't know what that ratio is, but again, typically we want to see 1 damage or 1 echo be 2 damage, and this is never gonna. We'll never hit that essentially.
Right.
Uh, but that being said, my Morta video, I actually called this out like separate, Zach. I don't know if you saw that. I think that this is going to be I'm going to start jamming it into Morta because I think it's so critical for her to get a kill within the first 2-3 turns to get her engine
Yes.
going. That like I'll gladly like dump all my echo to kill an 8 HP unit or 10 HP unit, right? And then I can get a fallen necromancy it out to like it's a Stitch Corpse, right? Stitch Corpse, I'll swarm to something, kill it. Like it's just like it's a way to
It's
jumpstart
interesting
the
to think.
engine, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's very good in that. Um, Pollinar is usually pretty strapped for cash on the Echo train, so that might be a little rough. But it's interesting to think about in like Londriel, right? When you're like sitting at like mid to late game and
Yeah.
you're like, well, I've got
Well,
22 Echo and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. So
yeah, yeah. Again, what do you cut for it? Maybe it's a sideboard card where it's like, well, this is just going to be a turn. Like maybe it's the mirror match, right? Where it's like, well, we're just going to stare at each other, but I got this card that I'm gonna dump into you at some point. Yeah, that's
oh,
fair.
you re-summoned Thundersteps? That's too bad. I was
uh,
good game.
But no, back to the Morta, right? So the standard opener is, you go down to 7, right? So if you can get a guy on Sarcast Halls, you can do 8 plus the 2, which will be 10 damage. 10 damage, I feel like kills like half the units in the game, roughly. So yeah, it's a really good way to jumpstart if you only got a 2 basic fallen opener, right, and you really need to start hitting more, to kind of kickstart that and get it going. I think it'll be good in Morta, but other than that, I'm pretty low on it. I gave it a C.
Oh, I'm higher than that. I'm like a B minus, but yeah, I mean it's fine. Um, it'll be fun. I think I'll have a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Oh no. Oh, we're back. I think my mouse is about to die. I need to get a new battery for it. All right, on to the attachment. 2 cost elite. I think they're actually all 2 cost. I just realized that. Okay, well, that's fair. Myrkosian Magnifier. This unit gains arcane precision, which is what we saw on the elite unit, where it gains plus X equal to the number of spells in your discard pile. And then clean strike, when this unit scores a critical graze, it becomes a graze instead. We already got the anti-tech into the singer for the Grizza matchup, so that they can't draw cards. I love that they. This is an old confrontation reference, right, Zach? But like, if you wear glasses, you're definitely more accurate in your aim, your shooting. Remember, every model that had goggles sculpted on them automatically had like a +1 to like their aim.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think this is a great sideboard card. That's pretty much all I have it as. Like,
Oh,
if
I don't even
if
know if it's that. I think I'm pretty low on this card. I just don't think it does anything that you basically ever need. Um,
if Singer is worse than I think it was, I think this will be a good sideboard card. Is my point? Or if like we start seeing even more graze mechanics of like like grazing, like like I don't know, like this also deals with thrice pretty good, so maybe it is like pretty good into the Legion
well, it
matchup.
doesn't though, right? Well, I mean, I guess yeah,
The
residual
arcane precision
accuracy.
is what.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
I still gave it a
yeah,
D. I'm not trying to defend it, but
yeah. I'm at like a D minus on it. D
okay.
minus.
All right. And we're going to finish it off with our last uh, order pack, Hands of the Church. I love this theme. This theme definitely like nailed it for me. Like they're all like, the religious priests and zealots and stuff like that. It's pretty amazing. So starting us off, we have a new 2-drop, which, 2 drops can't be bad, right? Discordant Voice, 1 accuracy, 3/1 damage, 6 speed, 10 defense, 8 HP. A new ability called Unleash. Whenever an ally activates nearby this unit, you may exhaust this unit. If you do, it may perform a charge if able. And then it also has Dire 1, which we are familiar with from like Curse of War and the Raptor. I thought this guy, I think there'll be a very interesting white weenie build, right? We
Yep.
kind of already saw that a little bit with like I tried that out with Auric, just swarming the board and stuff like that. What this guy really does that I like is like your crossbowman goes, and then this guy can charge off and like get stuck in a position and pin your units down, right? So like all it is like a body that they have to waste. Like it's negative AP, right, for your unit at the cost of 2,
Mhm.
right? So I think that's where you're going to get value is like your priests or your things go, that you want to go first with. And then these guys go and are just like pinning units and keeping them in position and creating a tar pit essentially. But other than that, yeah, nothing too special about these guys. I think they're like I love that they're 2, right? Because like they're so expendable. But these guys aren't gonna win you like be like they're like the linemen of football, right? They do all the work and then get no praise essentially, and that's kind of what they'll
Yeah.
do. So
I don't know that we have that white weenie build. Like, I don't know that it exists yet.
yeah,
But this is certainly leaning into that. And I think it's a good card. I'm actually, I dig it. One attack kind of is a little rough for a free charge in unit, but especially with 3/1 damage. But it costs 2. It's got dire 1.
yeah,
Like
it'll do 2
it's
damage, and then die.
it's super fine. It's like a B. I'm a B on this one. I like it.
Yep,
Don't know if we have the build yet,
yep,
but
yep.
it'll see play.
I give it a B minus. So and it's a 2-drop. It's so expendable, right? You just got to find a place in a deck uh, to justify its spot. But I think it's great. We have the elite unit, 7 cost elite gilded sentries, humans, 3 accuracy, 5/2 damage, 5 speed, 14 defense, 14 HP. Sentinel is the new ability. Whenever an ally resolves an attack, you may exhaust this unit. If you do, it performs a charge against that enemy if able. Reach 2, this unit, we know what Reach does. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this guy?
I don't know. This is one I need to see on the table to see if Sentinel really gives value. Um, yeah, I'm sure it will have instances in which it does,
Sure.
but I don't know that like it's a super valuable ability right out the gate. Maybe you've had more experience with it and have some insight on that front,
No.
but it feels fine. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's gonna um, slot in over the other like 7 cost or higher choices that are available presently. I just don't really see a place for it, but it's fine.
Yeah, this guy frustrates me a little bit. Like from a stat perspective, it's just the worst exemplar. Like it has 5/2 damage instead of 4/2, but then it's minus 2 HP. And then the abilities on the exemplar with protection and the I can't remember what it's called, but you get more defense against being shot at, right? Like exemplars are just beefier units than these guys are. The only thing these guys have are Sentinel, Reach 2, and the 5/2 damage. So like I don't know. Like in terms of stats, I'd much rather have the exemplars. Reach 2, I think, is something that we glossed over when the first we saw was with Effer, and he has the sweep and stuff like that, and it's on a unique, so I didn't really pay much mind. But like Reach 2 also kind of reads as like minus 1 AP, right? Where you can poke them, and then they have to spend 1 AP to get into you and actually attack you back, which I kind of like. But I really hate that it doesn't turn off reinforcements. It doesn't contest. You know what I mean? Or like it's really
It's not
reinforced.
nearby.
It's not
Yeah.
nearby, so it's not no. They can still reinforce and they can still shoot, right? Like I wish that it did those two things where or like even like maybe contesting the husk from 2 inches away would be too strong, but at least those other two things I really wish it did. Um, yeah, and then the Sentinel ability, I don't know what to make with it either. Like I don't why. waste an activation in terms of like the pass mechanic, right? Because you always want to like save activations to like kind of like
Right.
dogpile on. Why would you ever want to do this to get your charge early? I could see in a situation if it was ever whenever an enemy declares an attack, but this is after it even resolves it. So I guess I like
It
like
gets one, but maybe not two. I don't
right, you
know.
could kill it before
Yeah.
it gets the second. It doesn't seem that great to me. Yeah, I gave it a C minus. It could go along into something like really unique with the white weenie build where you're getting all these like out of activation values and stuff like that, like along with the what we just saw. But right now, I don't think it's good, and I don't think there's a deck
It's a
for
C
it.
minus. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gave it a C minus as well. All right, we'll go to the unique unit. 0 Hand of Law, 8 cost unique, 3 accuracy, 4 2 damage, 6 range, 4 speed, 13 defense, 16 HP. Fervor 2, you may spend up to 2 echo. If you do, this unit performs an attack that deals that much extra damage. Soul Tithe 3, which is also an action point, deal up to 3 damage to another ally you own within 6 inches. If you do, gain echo equal to the damage suffered this way. So yeah, two new abilities. I like it a lot. So this callback to the Masher, right, in my Grizza deck. That's why I like the Masher, especially with Zero Hand of Law, is because like they have 6 HP, dealing 3 damage to that thing where it's gonna die anyways, and like your opponent's gonna probably like overkill it most of, you know what I mean? Like the extra damage. I mean, 3 is pretty common number, but I think doing Soul Tithe on those things to bring them closer to death is like definitely worth it, right? It's just like extra value um, to even fetch out and thin out your deck and get that extra card advantage. Even like Soul Tithing, like your Hand of Greeds that want to die anyways to proc Jinx and like the Legacy and stuff like that. But otherwise, I think this guy has some problems with speed and being in range and stuff like that. I think that Rush of Salvation is going to be his best friend, where he like Xavier wheels into position and then starts dropping bombs at 6'4". Like I don't know. That's my dream. That's what I got cooking. He's in my Grizza deck for that reason. I run Rush of Salvation. Like there's little combos you can do with them. Not to mention Grizza is just going to be like you thought like Londrill's Echo Generation was bad. Wait until you see Grizza's with Priest and then this guy and one of the spells coming up. Like he just has such an explosive start that it's crazy. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this guy?
I think he's good. I think there's I don't know where he's gonna fit best. I agree his speed's a little slow, but fervor works with ranged attacks, so that's
Yeah,
pretty awesome. Um there's certainly going to be incredibly explosive starts with like priests and soul tithe and stuff, just like ramping up
yeah.
um super heavy amounts of echo. um I think he's really good, honestly. I'm pretty on board with this guy.
I mean,
I think he's
as we saw, getting value out of your units that just sit in like oh I can't shoot anything. I guess I'll just soul type and gain some extra echo, or like oh I can actually shoot something cool. Let me just deal 6/4 damage. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I think he's just so versatile that he's going to be good. Now I will say double soul tithing turn 1 and leaving this guy in your deployment zone with speed 4 is probably not the play. But maybe you still want to do it. I mean, who knows? Like maybe you have your mashers then run off and you can redeploy off this, and this guy just takes a turn getting up the field, right? If you can play like a kind of a mid range, like just ramp out kind of deck. I give it a B minus, but I think he's
I
pretty
think he's at
decent.
least a B plus. And I have a feeling he he may be higher. He may be in the A range. But I think he's for sure a B plus.
Cool. Would you put it? Would you put him above the other guy, the Conclave guy? You gave him
Yeah.
a B. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yep.
All right, we got the spells. Twisted Charity. It is a basic channel speed, 3 cost, 3 echo. Choose a non-secret refresh unit. It recovers health until it is health equal to its max HP. If it recovered 5 or more health this way, exhaust this unit. Um, I think I've been convinced that this deserves a one of in the Londril deck because healing 15 HP on an exemplar feels pretty good, or 15 HP. Like there's just certain, Gateway Guardian like probably just wins you the game, and it's really easy to get him down to like the exact sees 1-2 damage and then protect stuff away from it so he doesn't die until you hit this. Everything else though, like this does not like I don't want to spend 3 to heal 4, right? Like Like, I
Mhm.
don't know, like it's just a little awkward, especially for like healing basic and elite units. Like, is that really worth it? Like this echo cost as well as refreshing the unit, in something that probably isn't going to be as tanky or long game as Landrill. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at it.
100%. I think that this card in certain board states, particularly with Laundrill, is actually going to be like kind of nuts.
Hmm.
And everywhere else, it's pretty garbage,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, like
So it's weird.
I was gonna say that like it's I think in from recent or past episodes 2.5 you want 2.5 points of healing for every one echo spent. So like for 3 costs it should be healing 7.5, but that doesn't feel worth it with the extra exhaust. So like I feel like most times you're wanting to heal 10 to 12 HP in order for this card to be worth it, which means it's only hitting like elites, uniques, or your seekers, and then you're
I think
exhausting
this
them on top
card,
of like
yeah,
it feels
I think
bad.
this card is like a D plus. But yeah, in like Laundrill and these castling builds, like if you heal like 12 on a Gateway Guardian, holy crap, it's like a
Yeah,
straight A card.
yeah.
Um,
I
but
gave
yeah,
it a C.
I think it's like a D plus for me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think it's a C probably if you're considering like the one niche build it's great in.
I gave it a C because like maybe Grizza, like we forget Grizza's like I'm not playing into Grizza's Legacy at all. So like, but like there he does do damage off of healing spells. So like maybe
Yeah,
there's other
yeah.
decks that want it, but I don't think it's really good. Okay, here we go. It's Thoughtseize, right, Zach? That's what this is.
Mm,
No? Okay.
no,
Well, it's a 2 cost League spell, Demand Confession. Reveal a card from your hand. If you do, an opponent may reveal a card of the same cost from their hand. If they don't, look at the opponent's hand and then choose a card for them to discard it. I mean, I don't know. It reads like Thoughtseize to me. No?
no. I think yeah, it's way too like chancy to be worth it, but there could be, I don't know, there might be like some, I think we talked about it for a little bit, but there might be some like weird like super discard heavy focused deck at some point that kind of utilizes a bunch of the discard spells and things to just like lean into that as hard as it can. And maybe it has a play there, but like paying 2 echo to reveal a card from your hand and then your opponent's like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Um, would hurt pretty bad.
Yeah.
And it's a channel. I mean, it's hitting like, I don't know, like I think it's few and far between that it's hitting something that like is super meaningful. It's very possible that it's like some weird tech card where you're like, well, I know that, counter spells cost 3 generally or something like that. And, you show some other cost and you just want to like rip a counter, but like it's a 1-for-1 at that point. I don't know. It's just,
Yeah. Cards that have a potential of literally do nothing, like just are are usually pretty bad. And this card
yep,
can literally do nothing.
I'm at like a D minus on this
Yep,
card.
I am as well. Yeah, I will say that seeing this card and thinking about it made me realize and appreciate Drown in Oblivion that
Drown it.
much more.
Yeah.
And so like I messaged Ollie the other day. I was like, I think I owe you an apology because maybe Drown in Oblivion is playable compared to this. Yeah. All right, and then we have the unique spell, Triumvirate Liturgy. Choose 2 effects and resolve them. An opponent resolves the remaining effect. Definitely didn't read that last line the first time I went to play this spell when I proxied it, and the guy called me out. He's like, "So I get a refresh now?" I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess that is what that is." Or no, I think it was like 5 echo or something like that. Yeah, the effects: draw 2 cards, refresh an ally, gain 5 echo. Um, so I will. This is all going to get rehashed when I do my deck review for Grizza. But if you play Grizza turn 1, he can take 5 damage, and if you are the first activation right of turn 1, you get to draw 2 cards, gain 5 echo at 5 damage to Grizza. It's just such a stupid explosive start, and they get a refresh an ally. But if Grizza activated first, then like everything's already activated on their side, so
Mhm.
like it'll literally no effect. Um, the opponent resolving the remaining effect, I feel like you can often just like negate this, right? Like like, oh, they're out of cards. So guess what? 5 Echo doesn't matter. I'll refresh my ally and win the game off of it, right? Because you don't have any cards to play with it. Or, oh, you're at 0 Echo and I really need to refresh an ally. Draw 2 cards. You can't play them anyways, and I'm going to win. You know what I mean? So, like this game can do explosive starts from the beginning, late game, to refresh an ally and, get Echo or draw into answers or something like that, while often, being not that beneficial to your opponent. I think it's just amazing. I love this card so much.
It's I'm curious where it sees play outside of Grizza. The ability to cast it for free is what really elevates it to like a very high grade. Outside of that, I mean, you're basically in a lot of cases saying, okay, I play this card for free and I get to choose I'll refresh or draw 2 and my opponent gets the other, right?
Yep.
I don't know. It's good. I think it's great for Grizza.
Yeah. I mean, Landriel doesn't need it, right? Because she does, other than the refresh an ally, she does all those things just fine without it.
Exactly.
I think Auric could take this probably. It seems probably pretty decent for him, possibly. But I don't even know. Yeah, Grizza. Who's the last one that we're missing?
Sig.
Oh yeah, Sigrid.
Sigrith.
Yeah, I think Sigrid wants this. I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's solid. I give it an A minus.
Sigrith might really dig it. That's true.
She
With the
needs
draw
card draw.
with the
Yeah,
draw
she
too.
doesn't have it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I'm at a B on it. But I do think that in Grizza it's probably pretty hot, and in Sigrith you're probably playing it for sure.
Yep. All right, last card of the set. We have the attachment for order. It is, I can't, Expiatrine Scourge. We'll go with
Something
that.
like that.
All right, this unit gains Tennis 2, which is a new ability. Whenever this unit performs an attack, you may deal up to 2 damage to it. If you do, that attack deals that much extra damage. So that's really cool in Auric, where you can actually sack this and it will still, like, typically for damage, like helmet and stuff like that, right? If you sack the item, you don't get the +1 on it, but because you're paying for this up front, it's going to deal 2 extra damage even if you sack it, I'm pretty sure. So, like, it's you can use it and then this, break it to the legacy and it does 4 damage, which is quite a bit of burst. Yeah, other than that, I don't think that you do it, or you don't put in anything else. Like, I don't think Sigrith really wants this, or anyone else, but it's really cool for Auric. I like that both items they gave for Primal and Order are both serious considerations for the Auric builds out there, which is cool.
Yeah, it's like a C minus.
Yep, I gave it a C minus as well. I will say,
Yeah.
like, in the Sigrith matchup, I do usually like to, like, put in, like, if it's Sigrith v Sigrith, like in a helm or something like this, and maybe this can fill the spot of that as well, because, like, if you can, like, graze for 4 or graze, you know what I mean, this would graze for 5 even then, like, like it turns off her discard mechanic to hit you back, or if you put this on like an elite unit and it grazes for 4 versus grazes for 2 and stuff like that. That's pretty significant. So might have some use cases in the Sigrith mirror match as well.
Yep.
But that's going to do it for this episode with the card review. As always, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Give us your thoughts. If we were any way off on any of the card reviews, leave us a comment down below or hit us up on the Discord. Yeah, do you have anything else to add, Zach, before we sign out here? Or?
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, I hope we get to do this one more time this year. I think they teased 2 more Seekers before the end of the year. But otherwise, till then, we'll see you guys later. Peace.